I want to start today by naming something that most people won't say out loud. You have digital assets sitting in your hard drive right now. PLR products, license frameworks, templates that cost you real money. And they're just sitting there. Here's the thing. It sounds like you feel guilty about it if you tell people, yeah, I bought a PLR product, but I haven't been using it yet. It's not because you're lazy, but because somewhere deep down, you believe that a real business owner would have built everything from scratch. But listen, you think that using someone else's framework means that you're taking a shortcut, and you worry that it makes you less of an expert in your field or less of a leader, less legitimate. I'm telling you, this is not true. I want you to know something that changed everything for me. That guilt, it's not the truth. It's a story that we've been told. The women who are actually building sustainable, beautiful boutiques, the ones who have traffic, income, and peace all at the same time, aren't the ones who are creating everything from scratch. Ladies, they're the ones who understand the unseen permission that comes with licensing. They're the ones who've stopped feeling guilty and started feeling strategic. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This isn't just about moving files from one folder to another. This is about understanding that the license that you hold is, in fact, permission to be a leader, permission to show up as the expert without waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect credentials. If you're new to Glimmer and Grace Co., I'm Michelle. I work with women who are navigating the graceful pivot toward a soft life, toward a business that doesn't consume you, toward quiet income that actually flows, toward a digital boutique that feels like your own. I want to be direct with you today. What you do in the next 30 days with your digital assets will determine whether you have income flowing in 6 months or whether you're still sitting in the same place, wondering what's possible. Before we go further, I've placed something in the description for you, the PLR customization checklist. This is your anchor for what we're walking through today. Go ahead and grab it. It's totally free. You'll want to reference it as we go through the video or come back to it later when you have more time. Here's what nobody is talking about. Every month that your digital asset sits untouched is a month of income that never actually arrives. Think about it. You've already paid for the license. That money is gone. The only question now is, are you going to get a return on that investment, or are you going to let it become digital dust? It's not just the money, is it? It's the time. The time you could be building your boutique is being spent on creating from scratch when you already have the blueprint. Listen, the time that you could be building your email list, growing your audience, establishing yourself as an authority, it's just slipping away. And the worst part, you're watching other women do it, like me. You're seeing someone else take the same framework that you own and turn it into a beautiful income generating boutique. And you're thinking, I've had this exact product. You've seen it on Etsy. You've seen it on different YouTube channels. Why isn't my boutique growing? The difference isn't luck, ladies. The difference is permission. They understand something you haven't quite grasped yet. The license you hold isn't a shortcut. It's an infrastructure. And an infrastructure is what separates a woman working herself to exhaustion from a woman who has a quiet income flowing in while she's taking care of her own life. You've probably heard this before, but I want to reframe it for you. When you buy a license to digital content, you're not buying permission to be someone else. You're buying the structure. Think of it like a historic building in New Orleans, my new home. One of those gorgeous century-old storefronts with solid bones and a beautiful architecture. That building has been standing there for 100 years before you even get there, right? The previous owner provides the foundation. That's not cheating. That's being smart. But here's the part that really matters. The woman who walks in and opens her boutique doesn't leave the dusty windows and the old signage. She brings in her own colors. She brings in her own voice. She curates the collection in a way that's uniquely hers. The building is the PLR. It's your voice. It's your perspective, your specific way of serving your audience. That's the soul that makes it yours. And that's when the guilt evaporates. You stop being the customer who bought the PLR product and you become a brand owner. You stop being someone who bought success and you become someone who is now building it using the tools that are available to you. Now let's talk about the logistics. And I know this can feel overwhelming, like you need a law degree to understand your rights. You don't. You just need to ask the right questions. Before you touch a single piece of licensed content, I want you to ask yourself, can I edit this to sound like me? Can I change the voice, the examples, the perspective to actually reflect who I am and who my audience is? If the answer is yes, then it's usually, okay, you're good. It's yours to use, right? Can I turn this into a different format, a video, a webinar, an email sequence, a lead magnet? If the answer is yes, you have even more options than you realized. Can I sell this final version as part of my own digital boutique? Or is this something I can only use for my own learning? When you have these answers, the ambiguity disappears. You know exactly what you can do, and that clarity, that's powerful stuff. Some of you are thinking, but Michelle, what if I'm not sure about my rights? That's exactly why I created that checklist. It walks you through these questions so that you can move forward with confidence instead of fear. I know what some of you are thinking right now, but if I use the licensed content, won't everyone know that I didn't create it from scratch? And here's what I want to say to that. Stop. You're never going to get started unless you start working. The women who are the most successful in this space aren't the ones who talk about building everything from zero. They're the ones who talk about curating small solutions for their audience. You're not a fraud for using licensed content. You're smart. You understand that your value isn't in reinventing the wheel. It's your perspective, your voice, your ability to apply wisdom in a way that serves the people that you care about. Here's the thing that really matters. Your audience doesn't care where the framework came from. They care about the results. They care about whether your product solves their problem, whether it feels aligned with your voice, whether it serves them. When you customize a license framework with your perspective, your examples, and your specific way of teaching, it becomes your work, not because of where it came from, but because of what you've made it into. And the cost of not doing this, of waiting for the perfect moment to create your own framework from scratch, I only say this from my own personal experience of this. The cost is measured in months and years of delayed income. You could be making some nice pocket change here. I want to tell you about a woman in our circle, and she had her hard drive full of PLR products. She bought everybody else's nice stuff thinking, I could make a business of my own someday. This beautiful stuff just sitting there, but every time she opened the folder, she felt paralyzed. She had licenses from 15 different creators. She had courses on mindset, templates for organization, guides on everything from morning rituals to financial planning, and she didn't know where to start. It sounds like you might feel the same way. Here's what changed everything for her. She stopped organizing by who she bought from. Instead, she organized by what she could do with it. One folder for products that she could resell directly. She had one folder for content she could repurpose for marketing. She had one folder for materials that she could use to create new bundles. That single shift turned her overwhelming hard drive into a curated library of opportunity. And suddenly, she wasn't paralyzed anymore. She was strategic. So thinking about that, what would change for you if your digital assets were organized in a way that made their potential obvious? What would be possible if you could see in one glance exactly what you could turn into your next launch? Like planners, organizers, self-help. If it was divided that way instead of, I bought this from this person, I bought this from this person. Let me walk you through how exactly this functions in real life. You have a licensed ebook on a topic that your audience really cares about. What if it becomes more than just a PDF sitting in your shop? What if your ebook becomes the foundation for a master class? And that master class fed into a smaller, high value digital asset like affirmations or a checklist. And then that checklist brought people right back to your shop. One license, one piece of content. But now it's working for you in 5 different ways. The woman who sees this possibility is the one who stops trading her time for income and starts building assets that generate real income while she's living her life. And this is where Etsy and PayHip become your storefront. They're infrastructure that lets your boutique be discovered by people who are already looking for what you have. When you understand your licenses, you don't just have products. You have an ecosystem sitting right in front of you. Now, I want to be clear about what happens next. Some of you are going to finish this video and take action today. Some of you are going to download that checklist. You're going to get organized on your digital assets. You're going to actually put them in order of what works instead of who you bought it from. You're going to pick one product and start the customization process. And in 30 days, you'll have something new in your shop. Others of you, you're going to feel energized, but then hesitate. You're going to tell yourself that you'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into next month, and next month turns into never. And I want to offer you something. You have a choice here. Option 1, you can continue doing things the way you've been doing them. Building from scratch takes time. It takes energy. It requires you to figure out everything on your own. And it means your shop stays small. Option 2, you can take the licensed assets that you already own, customize them with your voice, and start generating income from them. It's faster, it's smarter, it's how the women who are thriving are actually building a digital boutique business. Both are valid choices, but they have very different outcomes here. The question is, which outcome do you actually want? Here's what I really want you to understand. The barrier to building your digital boutique isn't knowledge. You know what your audience needs. You know what you want to build with this business. The barrier is permission. So many women have never permitted themselves to just stand up as a leader and use the resources that are available to them. They're waiting for some external validation. They're waiting until they feel ready. They're waiting until they've created something entirely from their own brain. And that permission is costing them real income, real impact, real life. The license you hold is that permission. When you understand what you're allowed to do with it, the guilt stops. The doubt stops. You stop waiting and you start building your digital boutique. I know this is a lot to take in, but I want you to hear this. You're not behind. You're not starting from nothing. You already have everything you need. The checklist, the permission, the framework. What you're missing is just the decision to move forward. Here's what I'm inviting you to do. Download the PLR customization checklist. It's in the description box. Use it this week. Pick one piece of your licensed content and ask yourself those 3 questions. See what happens. See what becomes possible when you stop seeing your assets as a shortcut and start seeing them as an infrastructure. Share in the comments what digital products you're most excited to customize. I read every single one and I want to know what you're building. We're in this together. And if this video resonated with you, please share it with someone who's sitting on a hard drive full of digital assets, wondering what to do with them. That woman is waiting to hear exactly this message. The graceful pivot isn't about doing more. It's about being smart with what you already have. Remember to find your glimmer today and walk in grace, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.